Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank weekend preview brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. And we start with National because National was the news. Golden State Warriors setting an all-time record with 73 wins, an amazing accomplishment, and yet overshadowed because Kobe Bryant scored 60 points in his final game in the NBA. It's really unfortunate that the Warriors' accomplishment gets overshadowed, but it was unavoidable based upon the schedule being made way in advance and, of course, with the accomplishment that Bryant put forth.
You know, look, I still put the 73 wins over the 60 points.
I do too.
You know, the stat that stands out to me is this. Kobe Bryant was the first player in 49 years to take 50 shots in a game. Understand, look, the game doesn't mean anything to either team. Utah got eliminated earlier in the night when Houston won. Let's just go out there and see what we can let him do in his final game. I know I was there. I'm pretty sure you were there the night that the last game of the regular season when the Jazz were still here and the Spurs let George Gervin win the scoring title.
Yeah, between Gervin and David Thompson on the final night of the season, their teams both got him 40-plus shots trying to win the scoring championship.
Right. Thompson hung up, I think it was 71 early in the day, and then Gervin needed to score like 57 or 58 or whatever and ended up scoring 63 in basically three quarters. He could have scored even more than that. So that's why, look, at the end of the day, while the NBA is all about superstars, it is still a team game, okay? Nobody remembers who wins the MVP. They remember who wins the title at the end. So I have a tendency to give more credence, if you will, to the 73 accomplishment than to what Kobe did in his last game.
Yeah, Alvin Gentry meeting with the media, and we'll see what happens with changes. The Pelicans season over. They gave up 144 points in their final game, not that it mattered. And 6th overall in terms of ping pong balls in the hopper for the draft. But right now the big question is what changes are going to be made.
There's been a lot of rumors out there, nothing substantiated at this point, and really nothing that has gotten to the national writer level. Some reports coming out of Wisconsin. And again, I don't put a lot of credence into that because it may still happen that way, but let's just take a wait-and-see attitude on that.
And let's stay with national because another blockbuster national story, the Tennessee Titans trading the number 1 draft pick to the Los Angeles Rams. Titans get a bushel of picks in return. I think it's a great deal for Tennessee in a rebuilding mode and already with the quarterback in Mariota. And for the Rams, it's a good deal because they make a splash in a new market and they can go draft a quarterback to go with Todd Gurley.
Do you think HBO negotiated this deal to take care of Hard Knocks? I'm just saying. But look, this is the bottom line. The Rams have got to play Russell Wilson twice a year. They got to play Carson Palmer twice a year. They've got to be able to have that quarterback. Will whoever they pick at number 1 be a franchise quarterback? Is there that slam dunk out there? Not necessarily. They don't even know who they're going to take at this point. Are they taking Carson Wentz? Are they taking Jared Goff? They don't know. But give them credit for realizing you've got to have that big guy behind center. And the guys they've got there right now are not the guys who are going to just lead them to the promised land. Maybe the number 1 pick will.
No doubt. Where the Saints are concerned, a memorial for Will Smith at the Saints facility on Friday, and, of course, a funeral for Hokie Gaijon on the North Shore at St. Anselm Church. So that story, of course, will continue to unfold. And with regard to the details of the Will Smith situation, look, it's fluid, so we're not going to get into that because we're getting into this. This thing's being played out in the media, and that's unfortunate. And hopefully the truth will come out ultimately. But right now, we continue to send our prayers and condolences to the Smith family for their terrible loss and to the Gaijon family for their terrible loss.
No doubt. That's first and foremost. Let's remember the families. One quick thought, though, on just what you said about this whole thing being played out in the media. There is no doubt in my mind that if this thing goes to trial, it can't happen in the city of New Orleans. This thing has gotten so much publicity. There is no way you can. This will play out somewhere else in the state of Louisiana. There's no way we're going to see this trial take place in New Orleans.
College baseball, LSU heads to Missouri off of a win over Grambling, albeit not that impressive. Tulane, of course, off of a loss to Louisiana Lafayette. And the Green Wave have a series with Cincinnati. UNO at home against Northwestern State, and Southeastern goes to Louisiana Lafayette.
Actually, it's a split series.
Yeah, back and forth.
Right, they're going to play the last 2 games of that series in Hammond, but it's a big non-conference series. Speaking of Louisiana Lafayette, you talk about Big Nine Conference Series. Their softball team is 5th in the nation. They're going to the number 1 ranked team in the nation, Florida, this weekend for a huge non-conference series. So a lot of attention on the Ragin' Cajuns, as it were. And, we're getting into like spring game time as well on the college front. LSU having their spring game on Saturday. Tulane having their spring game on Saturday as well. So last chance to talk about college football until we get ready to go into August. And speaking of football, by the way, we mentioned the Saints, the NFL schedule being released Thursday night. That's, we kind of segue out of one season right into the other. Not a lot going on Thursday night. A good time for the NFL to release this. They will own the day, especially with the trade earlier Thursday as well.
No question. High school baseball. Just follow SportsNOLA.com with the weather, uncertainties about what's coming. Of course, our First NBC Bank Prep Showcase continues next week. And on radio, a couple of games scheduled for this weekend, but the weather obviously is an issue. Friday night, Rummel at Shaw and WGSO at 6:30. Saturday, Brother Martin Holy Cross at Maestri Field at 7. That one's likely to be played. But again, with the weather, you just have to wait and see.
You do, and we've played meteorologist all week trying to figure out what our schedule is going to be, and it's been a challenge. 3 games now on the docket for next week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all live here at SportsNOLA.com. Check out the story; we'll give you the full rundown on when you can watch them and when you'll see the re-airs. With all of the changes, by the way, you will see a second airing on Saturday of that Bayou River All-Star basketball game Saturday at noon on WHNO TV 20.
And you will enjoy it and see some good talent in the process. Lenny, thanks. Have a great weekend.
See you on Monday.
That's our First NBC Bank weekend review, or preview, actually, as we preview what's coming up. And it's brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the metropolitan New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. He's Lenny. I'm Kenny. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.